ish future with other people.
I know. So I think for us, like when we started Expats Everywhere, it was always meant to be like people living in different countries all over the world, because people have different preferences and lifestyles of what they want. And, maybe weather being one, they want to be around the snow, so they want to live in X country, or they don't want the snow, they want heat, it's X country. So we wanted to give information out about everything. And then it kind of honed in on Portugal, because we started vlogging about our route to Portugal because of COVID. And a lot of people are interested in Portugal right now. So it's easier for us to do that type of content because we're here and we know it really well. We're going through it ourselves. We're meeting a lot of expats who are going through it as well. So that's why there's been a lot of content about Portugal, but the channel still is Expats Everywhere. And so we want to get information out to people about other places that they might want to live.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is I think that we're becoming experts of things here in Portugal. Just the more we're here, the more we're digging into content creation, because you got to do your homework whenever you're creating a piece about a city or whatever you're doing. But we do have experience traveling to other places. When we've lived in 5 other places, and we've traveled to over 80 countries, coming up on 90 countries now. So we do have experience kind of getting around from place to place. Yeah.
Well,
and honestly, like, this isn't to sound funny, but like, it was without trying. Like, we just wouldn't go back to the same place twice. And therefore, every time we took a trip, it was somewhere new.
And we would move, wherever we would move, we'd base ourselves like in a different region of the world, and then just travel that whole region. And then after a few years of, okay, let's go somewhere else, and we'd base ourselves somewhere else and then be able to travel. So I guess you guys can understand how COVID has been killing us inside because we can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then maybe the question is, if you could go somewhere, because we had this question on the Good Morning Portugal show the other day. So we tried to answer with the doc on Wednesday, ask anything about Portugal that we do on a Wednesday, and somebody asked a really good question. If you once you're settled in Portugal, what are the great trips to make from Portugal? So, given what you've just said, what have you got in your sights when circumstances allow? Because Portugal is a great jumping off point, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, in 1 week, we're attempting, as long as COVID stays at bay.
And the Russians.
Yeah. So do you want me to say the route? I know it sounds funny, but it's true. So we have a big trip planned coming up. On the 19th, we fly to Germany. And just to keep it short, we're going to be gone for about 3 weeks. Germany, Luxembourg, Poland, Ukraine, and Malta. And then we're heading back to Portugal. Wow. So that is our holiday season. As long as COVID is good, and then for Ukraine, the Russians stay out.
And 3 of those countries are going to be new.
Yeah. So we've never been to Luxembourg, Ukraine, or Malta. So they will be new for us, which we're excited about.
Fantastic.
That is amazing, isn't it? Truly incredible. I mean, you said you haven't really tried. I mean, I wonder how many countries you'd have run out of countries if you'd really tried by now. And doing that at the moment, I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to go anywhere at the moment. It sounds like such a lot of hassle to be traveling, but it hasn't daunted you in any way. You're going for it.
We're going for it.
I'm going for it.
We need. I mean, I can't speak for you, but I need to. Like, I just feel like it's been so long, and we love travel so much, and I know it's going to be a bit more difficult. Everything will change. Just like travel changed when 9/11 happened, right? But you learned and you adapted what the new protocols were, how to do things differently, and you just dealt with it, and it changed air travel forever. That's what this is going to do, right? Maybe it'll be forever, maybe not, but at least for the near future, things will be different. So you got to figure out, okay, for this country do I need this test, or do I need to fill out a digital form before entering? Like, you just have to research all that. And I do. I'm an organized person, and I research that stuff. So because I don't want to show up and not be prepared. So you just got to do that beforehand.
And I'm thankful that she researches all that stuff.
Yeah. And fills out the forms for him. That's the other thing too. I'm like, here, sign this.
Amazing. Every home should have one for sure.
Yeah.
Neither of us would do that. So that's why you're doing that and we're not. And with a young child as well. I mean, really, what an incredible achievement. And presumably you'll document your journey, or is it a holiday?
No, we will take holidays.
Yeah, I want to say yes, and Josh is always like no. So no, nothing ever right now is like a full-on holiday. We're always, like you said, documenting, thinking of ideas for videos, just showing people the world. Because some people can't do this, their job, their health, or some people don't want to do this, but they want to see it. So we just want to show, different cultures and different countries. So, so we'll be documenting all of it in different ways.
And a little of what we do is through our eyes. I mean, more of what we do in Portugal is through our eyes, but elsewhere, the everywhere part of Expats Everywhere is certainly through a lot of other people's eyes. So when we're traveling, what we're trying to do is link up with other people that have a YouTube presence and meet up with them. I mean, I don't know if these people, if all of them would consider themselves YouTubers, right? But they have a YouTube presence, and they are willing to show us around their city and tell us what it's like being an expat there, or foreigner.
Beautiful model.
Even in the most challenging of times, I think you're evolving people's understanding of travel and the world even with this approach, because it's not being highly editorialized through the big media like it used to be. When I was a kid in the 70s watching travel shows on the TV, it was a really big deal that somebody had gone somewhere.
Yes, yeah. Were people still smoking on planes?
Yes. You had
and in
to,
trains,
it was the law.
Underground.
You were meant to. The children, everyone had to smoke. It was just how it and it was in black and white as well. It's quite incredible. But now, all of this, and the thing is, you had to have all the production facilities, didn't you? And the big media companies owned the rights to the production because of no one else could afford it. And now look, anyone with a mobile phone and the ingenuity and application and commitment, as you clearly have, can go places. I'm not in any way demeaning anyone's production value, but I'm
pretty sure these guys have got more than just a mobile phone.
It's true.
We've seen them live with their crew.
Them with their crew, with their actual crew. But it's an entirely different story now, isn't it? Where it would have cost thousands of dollars to make a program. You guys can go and have a holiday and make a program relatively inexpensively, and it can become part of your livelihood as well. That's even better, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's something that we tell people, that we're really blessed to be able to do this, because we get to do what we want to do with traveling. We have, positioned ourselves that we can do it financially. And I think for me, the best part is we can spend time with our daughter. So I know that that's a lot, a lot of people, they don't have that luxury of being able to spend so much time with their kids. So we're doing something that we love, like as far as a job goes. We're still getting to see the world, which is something that we have a passion for. And we get to spend time with her and show her, the same passion that we have. Like we get to show her those different cultures as well. So I think, we're just really blessed to be able to do what we do.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, so somebody else remembers travel in black and white. Lucier's 20.
I thought we were talking about
Maurice,
my hair traveling in black and white.
You took your hat off.
It's magnificent, Josh.
Yeah, come on.
I saw your hair earlier. It's really grown since we last
Isn't it amazing?
saw you.
I tell you,
it's really grown, which means he needs a haircut.
Yeah, I've already scheduled my next haircut.
I think it's amazing because I saw you and it's like, wow, it's like, does it naturally stand up like that, or is it just because you've been?
It's so thick.
Incredible.
Yeah,
it's ridiculously.
It's
thick.
really nice hair, though. Actually,
enjoy it,
looks
mate.
good.
Enjoy it. Portuguese is saying, "Oh, Louisa Ann, expats everywhere." That's the man cave greeting, that is, and Ola boa noite from Casa Casardas as well. Thanks for joining us. And Lucas here finds you inspiring. Keep opening the mind.
Thanks, Lucas.
You are inspiring. It's absolutely true. This is a great little input here, and this is exactly what I was thinking. Okay, Louisa, says Sarah Smith. Where is Sagittarius in Kalie's chart? Organized? Throw in some Capricorn. You see, I thought immediately.
I've never looked at Josh and Kalie's chart.
No, I realised that, but I was thinking immediately, Kalie's got to be Sagittarian. But that's me putting my astrological know-how on the line and getting it horribly wrong.
You know what? I don't believe that. I know I might be like working as an astrologer, but I don't do the kind of I'm a Sagittarius. I look at like your passion for traveling. My passion is for looking at the positions of the planets, because I just think it's a natural phenomenon and interpreting it. So if I was to look at your charts, guys, I would be looking at where all the planets were at the time, place and date of your birth, and be all over the place.
Right. Well, me
you would never just be a Sagittarius.
No, me and Sarah will speculate.
Yeah, we're not going to speculate. I'll do anything you want.
Good night from a windy Ohio, from Tom tonight and Olivia. Cheers, Tom. Olivia, and where is the most interesting
now
place?
That's a good question.
Two parts to that. One is, what is the most interesting place you've been to? And coming in from the grapevine of the expats everywhere, where are you thinking, oh, that sounds good, I'll go there? Is that a dog?
Yeah, I know. Josh is like, maybe you should mute here. This is the dog right here drinking water. Just keeping it real. Guys, on date night.
This is real life.
Yeah. Whew. Okay.
So I don't know if it's super common knowledge, but during our lives, or actually during any filming, Pincho the dog is always sitting on my lap. He has to, like, he won't, he won't be quiet or anything.
He'll cry.
Yeah, he'll just sit, like, it's so sad. He'll sit right by you and just like, let me up. Well, anyway, he saw us drinking water, and so now he wants water.
He's like, I went in on that action.
Yeah, so he's drinking water.
Yeah.
What's happening to your dog while you're going on your 3-week tour? Have you found a good place for him to stay?
We have, we have people that will be actually staying at our apartment to take care of him.
Oh, wow.
We used to travel. I know, right? He's fancy, but he used to travel with us. But as he's gotten older, he doesn't like moving around as much. He gets into a new place and it makes him a little more anxious. Like the first night is always the worst because he will pace all night, like to check out, like scoping the scene. So no, we just thought this would be really tough.
Yeah.
Do what?
Just like Josh does on the first night in town.
yeah.
Scoping the scene.
Okay. So most interesting places then, and what's coming up as your, after this next holiday, after that, because you must talk to so many interesting people traveling the world, and you think, okay, we got to go there as well.
The list never ends.
It just grows.
It continues to grow.
I think we should both answer the most interesting place we've been.
Is that would that be the same as our favorite?
Probably not. I don't
right?
think it'd be the same as our favorite.
Most interesting
I already have my answer, so I'm going to go.
Is this like a Mr. and Mrs. question?
Yes, it is.
No, I think they're going to come up with different answers.
No, we're definitely going to come up with different answers. I'm sure of it.
The most interesting.
I'm going to say Laos for me.
Oh, that's a good one. Laos,
It was, yeah.
Why was Laos the most interesting place you've been to?
Yeah, explain.
I think really because it's it's in Asia, so a lot of Westerners don't really venture out to Asia. I mean, a lot of Americans, Canadians will find themselves in Europe and enamored by Europe, and then that's just what they do. I mean, there are a good amount of Americans and Canadians that will go to Asia. I would say a vast majority of Europeans will just travel around Europe. But once you get to Asia, Laos is a place that gets missed a lot. So because it doesn't have a gross amount of tourists, it still keeps this authenticity that is just remarkable. Some people might say that Myanmar or Burma, whatever word people are using, is that place as well. But we didn't get that vibe when we were there. Things didn't function well there the way they did in Laos. It's weird because both of them have similarities. I mean, they're neighbors, right? But the functionality of infrastructure and the tourism sector, even though the tourism sector is not big, it was much better, we found, in Laos than it was in Myanmar.
We really liked it. That's true. Yeah, we did like Laos. That's a good one. So while you're talking, I was thinking what my answer would be, and that is a good one. But I think I'm going to go with Oman.
That's a good shout too. That's a strong shout. That's an interesting place.
Oman is say that again.
Why Oman?
Oman is like I guess people would say that. Oh,
sorry.
we can do it. We can make it work.
It's okay. Carry
on. We can have Kalie's head here and all this.
Yeah.
Like let's try that for a moment. Okay. Beautiful. Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No, Oman is just so it still has Middle Eastern flair, but it's really well kept. People are really nice, and a lot of people who are familiar with that region, a lot of expats will describe it as like the Aladdin feel of the Middle East. So just the way the architecture is, it kind of gives you this like fairy tale kind of feel. It's just really well manicured. And then they have, for me, they have this really cool sea turtle reserve that you can go to, and you can see the turtles coming up from the water, and they have like they lay their eggs there, and then you get to see the babies like going out into the water. So it's just so that was a really cool experience. But Oman is just a really pretty place, and people were really nice. Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, and then for the future, then what's coming up on the grapevine of the next great place to go?
Because actually that dovetails into a question I want to ask, which is, do you think you'll be living in Portugal for much longer? You know, are you planning on staying?
Yeah, so I think we should probably answer that one before we answer Carl's question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I believe that we'll be here for the next year to 9 years.
Josh always says the most ridiculous. People ask us this all the time, and he's like, "Yeah, 1 to 9." At this point,
well, it used to be 2 to 10.
2 to 10. Now it's 1 to 9.
Yeah,
and that's just because, well, you know, with the visa we're on, we have a renewal now in a year. Right. So he's always tells people, we don't know if they'll renew. We can't bank on it, but I mean, you know. Obviously, we think that that'll be fine, but he still says 1 year, and then for 9 years.
The NHR.
Yeah, program. The taxes and stuff, since we are still working. So we have to consider that. But I mean, but being honest, I think we're here. We're definitely here for at least another few years. Like if we had to choose, right? If we didn't have to take those two things into consideration, but like we really like Portugal, and especially with not being able to travel and move around as much, we feel like we haven't been able to do as much as we would have wanted to. Because like when we lived in Spain, we had no idea of all these little towns that we ended up visiting, and we just haven't even been able to do that in Portugal. And we know that they exist, and we have a list, and people tell us go to these places, and we just haven't been able to do as much as we want to. So we want to continue to explore Portugal, and then of course it's in a really good location to other places as well. So I think we'll definitely be here at least another few years. We're looking to buy too. So
that's what I was going to say.
We've got space for you guys to come and.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we need to. We will. Yeah, we definitely want to.
I think your contribution to the pastel de nata industry, it will not go unnoticed, and they'll lobby to keep you here in the country. I think
that's Sia though.
I would listen. I'd be up for that.
Yeah,
official spokesperson.
She absolutely is.
Yeah.
No, we are looking. Like our viewers know, we're looking to buy a property here. So the property would need to be something that we would want to live in, but then also in some way be an investment, right? We'd be able to rent it out probably for long-term letting. Yeah. So going back to your question, Carl, about the next place, we don't really have anything on the list. I mean, well, it's possible that if we were to leave in the next couple of years, that we might do kind of the digital nomad thing for a little bit before Valencia is of school age. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
I would say off the top of my head, thinking of like what I would like to do next is the Northern Lights are on my list. And
I thought it was meaning like move.
Oh, are you talking about move or visit?
Oh, anything you want to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
Northern Lights. I'm for it.
For visiting, like Northern Lights has been on our list for a while, and we've been in Southeast Asia before this, so obviously it's really far. So now we're a lot closer, and we haven't been to Iceland. That would be one place. And we haven't been far enough north in the Scandinavian countries. We've been to all of them, but for in the southern part. So I think that doing some sort of like Northern Lights and Iceland, or like an ice hotel, and doing that's definitely was something I want to do before we leave this area, because I think we're in a good position, a good location to do that from here.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful that you mentioned digital nomads, because that is such an attractive lifestyle to so many people. Obviously a little bit compromised at the moment, or a little bit more difficult, and hopefully that will change. But can we learn a little bit more about or what your advice would be to people thinking of moving country and starting a business and doing both at the same time? Because you can't really do one without the other. If you're going to become a digital nomad, you are moving country and you're starting a business, or you're at least moving the business you've got on the road. So how would you encourage people to do that? What should they be aware of?
I guess the first thing I would say is the biggest thing we need to say up front is Expats Everywhere was a channel and an idea or a business concept for a good 4.5-5 years, until we kind of found our way. We found our feet really when we got to Portugal, and we got a lot of advice from consultants in the YouTube sphere, and they just kept saying like, look guys, you got to turn the camera onto yourself. You're filming other people and telling other people's story, but no one is compelled to come back to your channel. So once we turned the camera on to ourselves, we were fortunate that people wanted to come back and watch us.
See what we're doing, I guess.
But to your point with the question, I think that it would be easier right now to have a remote job and just take it on the road, as opposed to trying to build a business out of thin air that is a digital one. I think that just the same with what Expats Everywhere began as, and then what it is today, it takes more time, especially if you don't have a lot of capital to put behind it, or you essentially are not in a position to just be on a ramen noodle diet type of thing. So we had for the longest time we had jobs. We had jobs. And then we were able to get digital jobs, and then that digital job gave us freedom to then move to Portugal. And all the meanwhile, we're building up momentum in the background with Expats Everywhere. And then finally, now both of us are or can be full-time Expats Everywhere in terms of hours in a day or a week, and then also income. The income level is good enough to do that. But I would not recommend people do that straight out of the gate. If they have the opportunity to just work remotely for some company, especially a company in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, where the salaries are higher and you have freedom to live elsewhere.
Yeah, that's such a good distinction. Yeah. Thank you for that. Because I'm a different sort of sensibility, I think, and burn the longbow and just go for it, which I think could be very dangerous to do so many things all in one go. To move house, move home, and start a business at the same time. That could be potentially crazy, and a massive test of the relationship if you're in one as well. So. Great advice, Josh. Thank you for that. Let's say hello to a few people, because I know Mrs. M's got a few more questions to ask you. Yeah, definitely. Lisa's here. Lisa and Carlos, good evening to you. Halisi is here as well. Vincent, good evening to you. Hello. Hi, good people. Thank you, Alex P. That's very kind. Alex P, good evening to you. And Victoria. Hola, boa noite, kids. She says she's the fifth wheel, crashing on the double date here. Not at all. Not at all. And,
you're so welcome, Victoria.
Absolutely. Sue and Taxi are here. I think been in the sauna, or at least one of them has. And hola, boa noite, Owen, the food alchemist, who has been mixing up. I saw the picture today. You may be interested in this, Josh and Kalie. He's been experimenting with Yorkshire puddings and pastel de nata mashup hybrid. Would you go for that?
I'm for it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, yes. And if you go to England ever on your travels again, you can tell them that you've tried that, or when you have tried it, of course. Owen may need to deliver some of those to you for tasting live on Expats Everywhere, maybe. I don't know. Hi, Owen. Yeah. He's up for it. Yes, he'll do it. I like that. From Pedro Gomes. Good evening to you, Pedro. And Ken, our dear friend Ken is here. Good night. And Louise, hello to you from Las Vegas this evening. That's fantastic. Olivia, who asked the question earlier on, I'm sure we dealt with that successfully for you. Let us know if not. Olivia, who else is here? Let's see if we've got any questions.
From earlier.
Really? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Okay, we'll come to you in just a moment. Nubia Net's here. Fantastic to see you, Nubia Net. How was your birthday? And hello from San Francisco. I love watching all your channels. That's so kind, George. Really appreciate that.
Thanks, George.
I'm national. Fly me. What's that? Would never fly as a jingle. I'm this day and age.
Sarah, you're amazing. That's so funny.
All right. Wolfgang is, hey, Wolfgang, how are you? And how much Portuguese can you speak? Should we go around the room? Muito Portuguese.
You guys speak it.
Was that Portuguese, Carl?
Okay, your turn.
I can order whatever I need in a restaurant and cafe, and I can understand quite a bit now.
Yeah,
but I can't really respond yet.
Josh and Kalie.
Josh has gotten really good. He's gotten really good. Because sometimes I find that the older men are a little hard to understand. Like if you get in an elevator and they ask you to push a button or something that's quite simple, but with the mask and with like the grumbly, it's hard to understand him. And he doesn't skip. I mean, like he's good. Like he understands really well.
The understanding's all right. It's the being able to formulate coherent sentences that I struggle with.
Yeah. So it's like you can understand what they're saying, but then you probably couldn't produce that sentence yourself at this point. That's the other thing. And I'm quite limited in how I can respond. So like the other day when I got my hair cut, I had a really good conversation with the hairdresser. But yeah, you're just kind of like, you're sitting there thinking like, I can't think of that word I want to say, you know, and she spoke English. So I would just ask her in Portuguese, how do you say this word? You know, and then, you know, but we were just, you know, she's allowing me to practice in Portuguese, which was really good. That's a good, safe place.
Yeah. And you're giving it a go. That's the important thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
None of us here have just brushed over the question because we're clearly all giving it a go. And I think that's a really important thing when you come to Portugal is to try. We'll give the award to Josh by the sound of it for the most competent here this evening. Tom if he went outside with a brolly now, what is that in Portuguese? It's a great word, isn't it? Guarda-chuva, the umbrella. I'd be in Europe in 5 minutes from Ohio. Wow. Okay.
So it's windy
night over there, and evening.
They call it a brolly.
All man cavers everywhere. It's guarda-chuva, isn't it, Josh? I'm sure.
Yeah, it is.
There is another word as well, isn't there?
You call it a brolly in English?
An umbrella or a brolly.
It's exactly what Dick Van Dyke would have said.
Okay.
A brolly, old chap.
Fair enough.
When you're in England, I just want to say that I had the best evening, and that Lisbon is alive. Tamara gets home from the pub and tunes in, doesn't she?
Yeah,
she did this
She did, and she sounded like she was quite giggly last week.
Very giggly.
It's lovely that you're back again tomorrow.
Tell us about your evening. I fell in love all over again. Look at that, and I just hope we all keep it safe and don't blow it. Well, yes, because yes,
Tamara, we can't wait till you open up your taco.
Mexican
burrito,
restaurant.
Mexican joint.
Keep us posted on that.
Let's go.
She's opening one down in Lisbon.
Okay. I think she'll be a great restaurant host, judging by what we know so far. Done in. Bedtime. We'll watch on replay. Good night. Right. Be like that.
Jeez.
Just very direct. It's fine. We know Susan, the breakfast show. How did you find a pet sitter? Can we ask
for Chico?
For Pincho.
Yeah. For Pincho.
Chico's. I mean,
Chico.
Spanish.
That's a cute one. Yeah. It's a cute name too for a dog. But so there are different expat groups, I guess, that will have some, but we know of a couple that have moved here not long ago, and they actually live in Coimbra, and they have started a little pet sitting business. So, Natalie, if you would like, because you have my email address, Natalie, so you know, you can send me a message and I can put you in touch with them. But I think there are a few around like that have started like pet sitting businesses, whether that means they'll come to and stay at your house, or you go there, or, you know, your pet will go there. Or actually our vet even told us that there was like a family that will have like a limited number of pets that they'll take care of, you know, like 5 or something. They have a big house. A lot of the kids and stuff will help. So you can ask your vet as well. That's an option. But yeah, but we know of a couple who has started a little business for that. So
thank you. That's really helpful. One for you, Mrs. M. Look, Olivia's here from your neck of the
Christchurch, England. I'd
There's
like to
one
see
we can pronounce.
Christchurch.
Christchurch.
It's not actually my neck of the woods, but I lived in Bournemouth for many years, which is just around the corner. Yeah. I love Christchurch. It's a great place.
All right. Have you guys been to any interesting places in Latin America, Kalie and Josh?
Interesting,
yeah. So it's funny, we've been so far away from the Americas for the longest time that we haven't explored as much as we would like.
Not as much.
And unfortunately, right before COVID, we were supposed to go to Cuba, which I was really excited about. My dad's Cuban
heritage.
So we were looking forward to that, with how stuff's opened up a little bit for Americans, but then COVID hit. So
COVID put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
COVID kibosh.
So that's a bummer. That's definitely one on the list that we want to go to.
Brazil's cool.
We've got a lot of Brazilian friends. So that's another thing that I think makes it as well, as when you go and you're with friends from that country, because they show you what it's like living there. And so we were there for the World Cup. We were there for a whole month, and that was a good time. But interesting. I mean,
I don't know. I just see a commenter saying that Miami is the most interesting place in Latin America, and honestly, I think I agree with it.
That's really funny. It is.
The reason that I love Miami so much is because it's barely America.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like America, but it's just
culturally
just the excitement of being in a place that is so different. It excites me, and that's why I like Miami so much. It's barely America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like what they say about the second biggest city in Portugal, which of course is Paris. You know, because okay, so there you go, Linaza 333. Your question answered there, and Auntie Zeppelin is here. Bon night to you. We came to the US to stay 1 to 5 years. A similar kind of response to the one you gave earlier, Josh, 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair play.
2 to 5 with good behavior.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Kurt, for that. Meeting you guys for a Francisina in June 2022 is the only hard event on my calendar. Isn't that nice?
What a fantastic thing.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, do you do a lot of meeting up with people who follow you on the channel? It sounds like it. It's hard not to, isn't it? We really enjoy that.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we're sat behind the camera so much and kind of disconnected sometimes from the audience. Yeah, sometimes the communication doesn't always feel two-way or as authentically two-way as possible. And sometimes you get the nasty comments and it's like, guys, we're real people. Like, you know what I mean? Like we internalize what you say and like we look at it for real. And being able to meet up with people offline is probably the most fun thing about what we do.
Yeah, we really like it. It's a lot of fun to just meet people, see where they are in their journey. A lot of people are coming to do recon visits, so they're just checking out different cities around Portugal, and they come through Porto, and let's get together, and if you have questions, ask, or we can just hang out. Others have just moved here. Others have been here for a while and just moved to Porto, or so it's a lot of fun meeting new people. Who have seen this.
It's great. I'm so glad to hear that. And going back to the nasty comments, Josh, I really enjoy responding to those these days. I find that. Yeah,
can you do them for my channel too?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Honestly, I've really taken to it just recently because I'm thinking, I'm pushing back a bit, and it's very interesting because it's not, I don't just respond back in kind. I tried to put a bit of humor in there, but I often invite people to say it to my face. And say, come on, come on the show. It's easy to make comments like that. I see there might be a good intention under there somewhere, and you might have something useful to say. So let's talk about it face to face, without seeking the refuge of of keyboard warrior status. I've been enjoying it, I must say. Recently. Hola, bon dia. I made it. Well done, Aviva. Great to have you here.
Well done, Aviva.
And Ubi is here as well. Bon dia todos. Hey, this Raphael. This is not your average globetrotter, who I'm sure would have a lot to add to this conversation that we've got here. And I see a few comments. Are you guys still thinking about buying in Porto? I remember seeing an episode where you guys had spoken specifically about buying in that city. Hold on just a moment, though. OMG, so many problems these days with becoming a digital nomad. So many people overlook, and completely agree with you, Josh, about being an employee. So much easier. So, a validation for that excellent input earlier on, Josh. So, yes, is it you're thinking of buying? Will you stick to the Porto area?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we want to live here as well. Like, I mean, this is the city that we fell in love with. And after our 90-day content creation project over the summer, it just reaffirmed how much we love Porto. And we try not to let that bias ring through when we do reviews of other cities and everything. But it's always there. Like,
it is, isn't it?
It's comparison.
Yeah, we're like that because we just know the Silver Coast is better than Porto. So we just,
Oh no, I don't know that because I've not been to Porto. I've not visited, so.
Okay, then. All right, I'll own that.
But all you did was go to IKEA, didn't you?
It was enough. Okay, Ubi says.
Hardly Porto, is it?
That is not Porto at all.
That's basically Matazinhos.
Yeah. Ooh, the truth comes out, Carl.
No, I know.
You did actually have a meeting there as well.
No, I would love to. I have been. I went to the Anarcho Portugal event. Jeff Berwick was there. He's a bit of a legend that some people might know here. It was like a crypto conference.
Prepper.
It was great. And I do love Porto. I'm only kidding. You know that.
Well, how about let's let the people decide. If you get 100 likes on this video, then you've got to come to Porto, and we'll show you around and make a video about it.
I see what you did there.
Very
yes,
good.
We'll do that. We'll do that. 100 likes on this video, and we'll come to Porto and take a look around.
And we'll do a collaboration with you.
Yes, indeed. And we'll look after the dog. Where would I find a nice little parcel? Hold on, where's this going? With its own terminal Caldas, a hot springs bath for sale cheap. Now, this is a good question, and you go on to say, Ubi, does such a place exist, or have big hotels and parks already claimed those prizes? We lived in Korea, a lovely little town with its thermal baths. And
yes, that was lovely.
I don't know.
Is that south or north?
That is middle, only 20 minutes from Coimbra.
It's right in between Coimbra and Aveiro. If you drew a line between them and like went halfway, that's where Korea is. It's Curia.
Yeah, and it's
fantastic. You should go there. It's a really lovely little place to visit.
And then you can say we did to Korea as well.
Yeah, add it to the list.
We lived in North Korea, didn't we? So I think you probably could.
Guys, it's got a train station. That's one of the best things about it.
Yeah.
So you guys could start on a train.
Ubi. Start there, Ubi. Curia. Korea. It has the most beautiful hotel there as well. In fact, why go for a small parcel? These big hotels, I think, are going to be for sale soon. Quite frankly,
they will.
You might be able to put an offer in on the grand and have it to yourself. The Palace, the Korea
What
Palace.
What about the Rosa
special.
Hotel Rosa?
Yeah, there are empty hotels there, which I think if you put a borehole down, you might strike a hot geyser, as other people are trying to do in the comments tonight. Antonio F. Bon night to you. Great to see you here. And it's so good to see you, Diana, today.
Yes.
From Adam and Diana. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I look forward to seeing you again. Some people who I think part of it was hearing my voice honking away from a table.
We were sat having coffee this morning with some newly arrived people from Utah and our Scandinavian friend. So this is like a new convergence of people in San Martino de Porto. And this couple walked past and they did a double take. I said, "Hey, we know you and you."
And now we know you, Diana, which is great. And
it was lovely. They came to join us.
Yeah,
cool.
So we've got people from Bulgaria and Austria and all sorts.
And we're introducing you tonight, Diana, to Kalie and Josh.
Yes, because she knows you.
Yeah,
she watches you.
So, good evening from Abel, our friend Abel in Scotland. Kalie and Josh, have you ever visited Scotland? If the answer is no, I definitely recommend. Have you been to Scotland?
I have. Yes, my family traveled a lot when I was younger. So I went when I was around 12. I went to Scotland, but Josh has never been. So we will be going at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, we probably would have gone within the past year had it not been for COVID and what was happening with
Brexit and just
trying
to figure out the
UK's
logistics.
COVID
stuff.
It was stricter. So
and Scotland as well. So yeah. But do go to Scotland. Absolutely. Edinburgh is a must-see place, and the Highlands, of course. Yeah, great. Thank you, Abel, for that. Hi, everyone enjoying the show. That's William over in Belfast as well. You must visit Ireland, of course, too. And Ubi and Cass are talking about hot springs. Yeah, you say you're. It sounds like you're regulars to Ireland, or you have been.
Yeah, well, actually, one of my
friend,
good friends, a guy that I coached with back in the States. We were teammates as well in college, but then we ended up coaching the women's team, which is kind of how I ended up meeting Kalie. But yeah, he's Irish. And
he wasn't my coach. It was a different team.
Well, we were direct rivals.
Yeah, we were actually rivals. Yeah. He was scouting me.
It's not getting any better. This story.
Yeah, I know.
You know what's funny is the story's so awkward, Carl. You're blushing on my behalf.
I am. It doesn't take much. I was thinking, how are we going to get out of this? Which sport are we talking about?
Football, soccer.
Soccer. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So that is a great story.
Confusing.
But not if we're talking about women, right?
What? Well, yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, Josh has called it football for the longest time, but it is confusing because we're American.
All right.
So so whoever we're talking to or whoever we're with, it could just be confusing as to what actual sport we're talking about. Sorry. I did not play American football.
Yeah. So yes, I didn't assume what sport it would be. So and I didn't know that about you, Josh. So that's great. One of these, one of those things you didn't know about me kind of facts. I know that's another whole conversation for another time, isn't it? But it must be great being in Portugal for that reason alone. If you love soccer. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kalie's equally a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, getting a bit sexist there, wasn't I?
Yeah, I know, I'm sexist.
The cue really was in women's football there, wasn't it, for me to pick up on, which I didn't do. So I'm blushing even more now. Okay.
It's okay, Carl. I still love you.
Sorry, Carl. I actually just drifted off when you started saying that. I noticed Uncle Krusty at the bottom there with a comment and thinking, "Oh, that's so nice." He's
Uncle Krusty.
Because it was like sport, and all of a sudden, it's like glaze went over me. I was like,
it sounds like a typical date
sorry.
night. She started talking and I glazed over.
That happens to me all the time.
I'm used to it.
What you don't know is underneath the table, Carlos put his foot on my lap because we're sat opposite each other.
It is my foot.
And I'm doing my foot massage. So while I'm listening, this is why he likes Saturday nights, because I'm massaging his foot. It's the only time of the week.
But Ireland. Should we go back to Ireland now?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So your friend, the coach, was your connection to Ireland by the sound of it.
Yeah. No, he's actually he's actually from Belfast, but has been living in Wicklow, just outside of Dublin for a number of years since moving from the US back to Ireland. I know it's Northern Ireland, Belfast, but
William here is from Coleraine in Northern Ireland as well. Adventure filmmaker, all from Hollywood tonight. Wow. Hey, that's good news, isn't it? Are we being scouted here as well? I wonder. From the soccer pitch to the great film studios, maybe. Adventure filmmaker, please put in a good word for us. Hello from Porto, from Wales, safe as well tonight. Familiar name. Silver Miner, what are the taxes? This is good, prompted by your earlier comment, I think. What are the taxes like in Portugal for people trying to get away from bureaucrats in their home country? Silver Miner, what would you say about that, Kalie and Josh?
You're not getting away from anyone when you come here. It's every country. It's every country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, except there's a few Middle Eastern countries where the big fat sheiks pay for everything.
That's true.
I mean, even Saudi has introduced some taxes. So,
recently.
Mm-hmm. I would say the soundest advice would be to talk to a tax professional to figure out what your situation is like, because everybody's situation is different. I mean, even for us, we've got to speak to a tax specialist to figure out if our channel revenue, our expats everywhere stuff will fall into the category that it qualifies for NHR. Yeah. So it's not just like you rock up here and you can apply for NHR and your taxes are 20%. Everybody's situation is different. So
and new precedents are being set, aren't they? So people are asking that question, aren't they? If I start a YouTube channel, how do I declare it? Where do I declare it? What's taxable? And then there's my crypto stuff, and on it goes. So Josh is absolutely right. Speak to a capable professional, because they're not all capable, are they? You need someone who has this bilingual or bifiscal approach of both America and Portugal. You've got to have that, haven't you? Someone who knows how to deal with the American system, and then somebody bright enough who even knows, what to do with cryptocurrency and these newfangled things like YouTube revenues. So there you go, Silver Mine. I hope that helps. Carlos Limo is here. Hello, Carlos. Good evening to you as well. Good night, everyone. Hey. Another great show tonight. Oh, cheers, mate. That's really appreciate that. I hope everyone is having a great time this month. Okay, that's a good cue for us to ask you, what's Christmas looking like? Lighting up Christmas, that's what we're trying to do, despite some of the darkness of the times. Lighting up Christmas. How is it in Portugal, in Porto at the moment?
Actually, really good.
It's beautiful apart from, I mean, it's wet right now, but the way the city's done lights compared to this year, it's brilliant.
So much better. So they did put up lights like in the streets last year and everything, but last year they didn't do the big Christmas tree in front of town hall because they didn't want people congregating. This year they didn't do like a ceremony. Normally they have like a ceremony to really start it. They just turned it on. But that happened on December 1st. I know people gathered for that. So on December 1st, all the lights in the city, all of them went on, and we were out there for that. And the buzz, it was so nice. The buzz of the city was great. People were out, people were happy. It was exciting, taking pictures.
There was a big roar from the crowd whenever the lights went on.
Yeah, it was just exciting. Yeah. So
people thought Ronaldo scored a goal or something.
We saw the turning on the lights in
Coimbra,
and it was really beautiful.
Very,
they did a big old countdown. There were chestnuts roasting in loads of little locations all over. It was just magnificent. Yeah,
well done, Portugal. Particularly special. It remains special. A good balance still of the commercial and the traditional here in Portugal. It's great.
Absolutely.
I've hogged these two, Mrs. M. It's your go.
Oh, I'm.
You're happy massaging my feet.
Yes, I'm kind of.
That works for me too. That works for me too.
Yeah, I'm just kind of. I feel like I'm just having a nice chat with you guys.
Yeah,
or just listening.
There's actually
really
a live
nice
stream going on. This is hard
sorry.
to believe. All this double take.
Wait, we're on the live stream?
People are watching us.
Yeah. We should have said. Friends of yours, I think. A friend of yours, Michaela.
Hello
Barbu.
from Romania.
Yeah, from Romania. I miss you so much. Portugal. Oh, that's beautiful. And another word for brolly, Josh. Chapeau de chauffeur.
Makes sense.
Rain hat.
Yeah.
Both your channels are so informative. Found lots of useful information for my planned move when I retire.
Fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Tom. And Andy's packing his bags tonight. Well, literally, was it something we said, or I'm not sure what's going on or coming on there with you, Andy? Tell us more. Can't believe I'm up this late. Yes, this is the show where we get people staying up late. It's 10 minutes to 11, everybody. Steady on there. Oh, that's great, Louisa. What's that again? Referring to the foot massage, I think. Nice. Oh, no, that's something else. Nice.
Nice. That's Christchurch.
Okay.
Christchurch in the UK.
Okay.
Because I was her virtual neighbour.
Yeah, and Ubi's fantastic comment there as well. Suzanne's here as well. Suzanne, hello. Everyone, unfortunately, I came home late. I'm going to have to catch up later. You will. Some great stuff earlier on in the show. And thoughts on Madeira for investment now that Lisbon and Porto is off the card. So,
no, actually, now we are talking more about like business. I'd like to know, how do you stay motivated?
Oh, go on.
Whilst you're working from home.
Yes.
And, like, have you sort of experimented with how you've set up your studio or co-working spaces? Because like Carl and I, we co-share. Like
tag team.
Yeah, like we are a tag team, and like we have a lot of our day, just for the kids, but we take it in turns sitting in the studio, and I do my consultancy work, and we're continuously in and out, and then with the kids. How do you work it?
It's hard.
I'm surprised that Josh does so well with like me and Sia running around making a bunch of noise, mainly her, that he can stay focused, because if I'm working, I have to have Josh and Sia out. Like they can't be at home because I hear, it just is too distracting. So we kind of do have to do stuff in shifts, because for the most part, I only work when Sia's sleeping. So she takes one nap in the middle of the day, and then at night, that's when I get my work done. Josh is working, off and on throughout the whole day. But unless he takes her out while she's, to the park or something, then I get some work done. But we just have to be organized, I guess. I'm good at that.
Well, I mean, I think we're having to learn and create systems. And that's something we're going through right now, is creating systems to make sure the things that need to get done, and we're not just focusing on the immediate, because that's something that you can always get trapped or caught up doing, is just focusing on what's right in front of you, or like there's a pile of dishes in the sink, and it's like, I'm just going to go do dishes, when you actually have some important things that if you don't do those things, they could never get done, but your business isn't going to get pushed forward. Yeah. That pile of dishes is going to be there regardless.
Yes.
I hope I explained that well. I feel like
that's encouraging so many people to start their own business now, that you can avoid the washing up if you start your own business. Perfect. Great motivation.
I think you just have to be like in work mode when it's time to work, and then you don't let those other distractions. I think that's what you're trying to say, is like, yeah, there's dishes, but that's when I'm not working. So it's like, I'm working right now, and that's what I'm focusing on, and then getting ahead in that type of work. So you're not just working, like doing, okay, I'm just going to do what's going to further me today. No, planning ahead. So when next week comes, you're already set up. It's so much easier when we are working ahead on things, rather than just what's right in front of us work-wise, because it just feels so much more comfortable and it runs smoothly. So something that we do too is, like, since we work together, we have a weekly meeting, and so it's set.
Our weekly meetings are good.
Yeah, to help us make sure that we're furthering things.
I'm so impressed. I think that's great. I think it's great, because you could assume, couldn't you? Yeah, we'll get all these things covered in just daily conversation as we pass here and there, or sit down for a cup of tea. But it's not always the case. And I do like your business-like approach. And it clearly, motivation isn't a problem. It's scheduling, isn't it? It's the discipline and the organization for you, rather than working up the enthusiasm, because that's there for you anyway. I mean, I get the feeling you're doing what you love. And that's such an important part of motivation in a business. I think if it's your own business and you don't like it, there's a problem, right?
That's a big deal. Yeah.
You've got the wrong business. You need to sell it. I mean, speaking of motivation, like I've got so much fire in my belly for what we're doing, and I genuinely love what we're doing, and I feel completely blessed that we're able to do it. So for me, I would work, I think, more. But
we have a toddler.
what it takes to crank out a video, to take a video through the whole cycle, and to be able to do 2 a week, that in and of itself is motivating, just to keep up with that churn, if you will. So yeah,
I would say one other thing too that we that took us a while to actually do it is actually having at least a day off. So we take Sundays off.
Very good.
Not the whole weekend. Normally we're shooting and stuff on Saturdays, but maybe we're not answering emails or getting the social stuff going on the weekends. We're taking a bit of a break from that. But an actual day off on Sundays too. So that not doing any work and it's easy. Like when we do what we do, it always comes up in conversation. Like you're saying, we're out like having, you say tea, we say coffee, we're out having a coffee. And it's easy to just start talking about work stuff. But at some point you got to be like, no, let's just enjoy that we're out having a coffee and talk about other life stuff that needs to be talked about as well, So it doesn't like overtake your whole life. Since we work together.
Have you made any videos about this? Because this is of real importance, I think, and of interest to people in how to have a home-based. It's like a modern mom and pop business, isn't it?
Yeah, in a sense. I don't know. I don't know if that type of video would really align with the channel, with the audience. I mean, we've even seen a huge wobble in how over the past year or maybe 9 months, 10 months. We've really dug in on Portugal, and 99% of the videos have been about Portugal. And then we've started to introduce interviews with expats that are living elsewhere, and those interviews aren't doing that well. They're not doing well straight out of the gate, and that can create some problems.
Okay,
the YouTube algorithm.
I'm dragging you away from Portugal. This is the Feelgood Portugal show. We've got Josh and Kalie here, who've been so generous with their time. So maybe just one more question. I know you'd probably like to finish now. Coming up for 2 hours online here. But if I can just push you a little bit on that, because your answers were great about how motivation isn't a problem. You love what you do. You could do 2 or 3 times much, more work and time into it if those hours were available in any given week. So motivation is not a problem. It clearly, getting organized and being efficient is an issue for any home-based business owner, operator. But this thing about how it was lovely to hear you say, you love what you do and how important that is. And this is something for people coming to Portugal, to come and to have a livelihood based here, a portable livelihood. Was it easy for you to find out what you loved to do and then do it? Because a lot of people complain about that. They don't know what it is they want to do. They know they want to do something different. They know what they want to break out of the 9 to 5 or the normality or the job they hate, but they can't find the spark of what it is they really want to do. How did you guys do that?
Man, we're getting deep and philosophical here. I like it. I would say probably the most important thing in this kind of journey that we've been on, and of people that we listen to and books that we read, is we keep our why at the front. So like, why are we doing this? What is the motivation for doing this? Right.
Yeah.
So for example, we're in the stage of life that we're at right now where our why is to earn a good income. We don't have to earn silly money. We've gotten ourselves out of debt and the rat race of being in the States and whatnot. But our why is to make a good income, to be able to provide our daughter with what she needs, whether they be physical or emotional, where we can spend as much time with her as we would like. We have time freedom where we can go out and do, whatever we need to with her. And so what we've done over the course of time has been, we've kept that why out in front of us. And sometimes the why changes, and it certainly has over the 14 years that we've been abroad, but we make course corrections as we go along. But with the why out in front of us, we just make sure that whatever we're doing aligns with that why. So going back to where we began, what our why was when we first moved abroad was to see more of the world. So we thought, okay, let's live in a place, let's base ourselves there, and that'll give us the ability to more cheaply travel that area, as opposed to jumping on a flight from the US over to Europe every so often when we have breaks, when we have holidays. So that was our why initially. And then we were like, we got a little more financially motivated, and we thought we probably need to get out of this university debt, this loan debt that I had. And then it was like, how do we do that? How do we make more money? Where can we go to earn more money? Does that make sense? So then we did that. And then we thought, well, we're actually enjoying this whole teaching thing, but we know there's a next level to this teaching thing. So how do we get that? Okay, well, we need to get certified to be teachers in the US, state certified, so then we can be eligible to teach in international schools. So then we did that. So all along the way, we kept leveling up, and we just kept the why out in front of us. Like, this is why we're doing it. This is the motivation for us doing it. And right now, our motivation to keep pumping out videos and doing our thing on YouTube is because it gives us the time freedom to spend with Valencia. We still put in our 40 hours or whatever it is per week, but we're just doing it at different times where we can spend time with her. She goes to bed, we work, that type of thing.
I love that answer. Thank you so much. And it's really inspiring because people want to help with that, don't they? I mean, they want to see your content, and then to know that that's your motivation is so real and wholesome and lovely. That there's two reasons to support you, aren't there? To watch the videos for their benefit, and to know that they're supporting people who've got that aim and that beautiful aim in life. So I think thank you for sharing that, and I think it's all the more reason why people should support you and watch your videos and be part of this journey. Just a few more comments before we let you go, because I want you to see these. You can see the Northern Lights from Scotland, so they're 2-in-1.
That's a good option. Yeah.
Good option.
Uncle Krusty saying good night to all of us, and Ola night from Uncle Krusty. Great to make your acquaintance, Uncle Krusty. Looking forward to checking out Expats Everywhere. Dropped in for a few minutes before getting back to the farm. Now there's a real job, right? Rock on, Global Gypsies, says Uncle Krusty. Yeah, that's fantastic. For another evening, Tom wants to see your opinion or hear your opinion about the Porto match in person. Let's not start on that now, because that could keep us going for a little while, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Hi, Josh and Kalie. Love your videos from Aviva.
Thank you.
Well, and Amanda, Kalie, Josh, I just want to say I'm so happy to have a chance to live in Singapore. I miss home. Says Amanda.
Awesome.
Jim saying good night to us as well. Mrs. M's back to say good night to you as well, which is great.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss you. I just wanted to.
We'll have to listen again to. We got deep and meaningful about motivation for business. The real motivation.
Fantastic.
How to find your niche. And
I heard that bit about the end. About it. It's all about Sia and in the time that you spend together. I mean, that's why we moved to Portugal in the first place, because we realised that if we were going to stay in the UK, we would both have to work full time, and probably more than that. And for that, we would never see our children. And so we both work part time, which adds up to one full time, occupation. And we're always around our kids. I really resonate with that.
A full time 80-hour a week American job. We hasten to add there. Suzanne saying, I really enjoyed Kalie and Josh's videos. Your apartment search is what you found and why you chose one or another. All of you are doing so well, creating your own businesses and raising your kids. Suzanne, what a lovely note
so much.
to end on. And to thank you, Kalie, Josh. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
We loved it. This was fun.
Always good to crash date night.
Well. Yeah. Let's do this again sometime. Check, please.
Anytime. Give us a shout.
Check, please. Yeah.
Taxi for Expat Everywhere. See you later, guys. Thank you so much, and enjoy your upcoming break. Hope it all goes well.
Thank you. Break.
We see you after your break then.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We'll pop down for a visit.
Boa noite, bom fim de semana. Ciao.
Ciao.
There they go there. Wow. Wasn't that lovely?
That was so nice. And while I was giving Solomon some milk, I realized I feel really trashed. I feel really drunk. And I'm not drunk at all. I'm completely sober. How does the baby
feel?
Oh, I'm sure the baby's fine. But these guys are laughing in the background. They can still hear us. It's the good humor. It's being around lovely people, isn't it? Like we've spent the whole day with our hearts wide open. Yeah. And now I feel really kind of lightheaded loved and it's
beautiful. That will continue, I'm sure, in the comments.
And so I'm so chuffed to be here and look at all these lovely people in our feed. It's such a nice thing. And I have to admit, I'm so sorry, but I right at the start of our show, I thought I pressed the live button, but I obviously didn't press it properly. And so I cut off I cut off the first couple of minutes of our show today. I'm so sorry. It was a lovely introduction and a welcome.
It was some of our best material, wasn't it? As
your
usual?
Best material, yeah.
Did you do it on purpose?
No, I did not.
To cut my long-winded intro down, which you sometimes complain about.
No.
Okay, I'm just going through a few WhatsApp messages. If you've got any lovely Light Up Portugal messages for us, send them through to 913-590-303. I think that's the number off the top of my head. Somebody else might receive lovely pictures and videos of Portugal.
Will you be lighting up their lives?
There's a video. Someone sent me a video. Joao F, is this safe to show on the live stream tonight? Because it's blacked out, and I'm thinking if I just pump that straight onto the live stream, I could be finding ourselves into a lot of trouble. The uprising from the breakfast show. Some pictures have come through, and Laurie.
Oh, hang on a second. You skipped over this one.
Go on.
Oh yes.
You carry on while I'm downloading a little bit. You carry on.
Hang on. No. Look at that comment.
Well, hold on. Let me just go back to where
on the screen. Now it is time for Louisa's.
Who is this? Is that you under a different name?
No,
Did you just go in the other room to do that?
No,
you could have just asked. Boulder Geek.
Thank you, Boulder Geek. I really appreciate that.
All right, it's happening now.
He's rubbing my foot now.
Yeah. And we haven't got a dog to blame for strange noises, have we? That are coming from the nether regions.
That was fun, wasn't it?
I had to mention it. It was almost like an elephant in the room. The volume. The sound and the volume it had to be mentioned, didn't it?
What a lovely dog. Very happy dog.
Little Pincho there. Okay. I do have some pickies. These have come in from Braga. These are Braga's Light Up Christmas efforts tonight. Thank you, Laura, who loves both North and South. She's got it right, has Laura, because we people are asking us the question, obviously, where should I live? Which part of Portugal? Our answer now is have 3 houses, isn't it?
Look, Josh and Kalie are watching us. They're saying now we're listening to it.
Massaging each other's feet,
and
I hope.
Pincho says, hey.
All right, I've got a message for Pincho.
Bless him.
That was hilarious. It really was. My downloads aren't working. Please read some more comments, Mrs. M.
Okay, it would be my pleasure. Where did you get up to?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I'm gonna I'm gonna just start here. And sorry if we've missed them out. I'm sure Carl will go back. Anyway, Joao Ferreira. Good evening, everyone. I've been listening carefully to the show tonight and chose not to say a word until now. But thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Bless you.
And Diana that we met today. It was a great show. Carl, Louisa, Kalie and Josh. Carl, thank you for introducing us to Kay and Jay. So yeah, I mean, we had it's an absolute it's great when we hear that, like people are connecting because it's such a big world, isn't it? And there's just so many nice people and so many different ways to help. So it's amazing.
And we absolutely love it when people say hi to us. If they see us in San Martino de Porto. Look at that Braga sky there.
Is that Braga?
Yeah, but look at that great walk-in Christmas tree.
Yeah,
this is what Portugal does so well. That'll be a beauty lit up at night. I don't know if this is it lit up at night. Yes, it is. There is.
Wow.
Later on that same evening, perhaps.
I wonder if anyone that's watching tonight lives anywhere near Agada, because Agada at Christmas is pretty extraordinary. They have a giant Father Christmas. Josh and Kalie, if you are heading anywhere near Agada, I think Sia, if she's not scared of Father Christmas, there's this like huge, massive Father Christmas that you can walk around, and it's really awesome.
Yeah. Most excellent. After spending last year alone for the holidays, it would be very special to spend tonight with my brother, sisters, and 4 of my nephews at the tree lighting. That sounds really lovely. Yeah. My 3-year-old nephew has never seen this. Oh, that's fantastic. Tax, I don't think you're alone in this comment, Dougie. Boy, I loathe tax. And Doug has just written in the Portugal News. He is an occasional contributor to the Portugal News, and he has an environmental piece. Do feel free to put the link in.
Really?
Doug, oh, yes.
Get it on Carl's show. You'll read it out, won't you?
We will be talking to Doug in due course. Yeah. We'll be in Peniche. Oh, look at that for the solstice.
Wow, fantastic. Jim, actually, are you going to come and visit us?
I hope you do, Jim. Yeah. Jim and Mandy. Now, here's the thing. there's always this controversy, isn't there? Happy holidays, happy Christmas, whatever. We're interested in the light and whatever enjoyment and feel-good factor you can derive from this time of year and the festivities. But I am interested to know from the more paganistic people in our audience here, what are the alternative celebrations? And are people doing things on the 21st as well as the traditional 25th? I would like to hear about that. If anybody's got any slightly different rituals that they might, I was going to say perform, makes it sound a bit dodgy, doesn't
Celebrate.
it?
Celebrate.
That's the word. Celebrate.
I mean, from my perspective, these last couple of years has been quite a revelation for me because, prior to that, I've been mainly working with Brits and Europeans. And so now I'm working with loads and loads of Americans. And it was really beautiful around the time of Thanksgiving, getting all these messages from people saying how grateful they are, for me in their lives and vice versa. And it's a huge deal for them. And I found myself giving thanks around Thanksgiving. It's changed me. I just think this whole time, when it's dark, from Halloween pretty much, which I don't really like Halloween that much, but all the way right through to New Year, I think it's a great time to just give thanks.
Yes.
And kind of feel the light.
Yep, absolutely. Boulder Geek, does the esteemed panel have input on how frequently one can get the 90-day Portugal tourist visa extension on request? Now, that's not a position we find ourselves in. However, Mondays, I have Gilda Pereira with me from EI, who I'm sure will be able to give you some insight on that from a vast experience. And Antonio F. stepping in. Thanks, Antonio, for this. I believe you can ask it once on every stay. So that's good. Thank you, Antonio. Josh, they've missed this one, but we must include it. Indeed, you and Kalie always show the energy whenever you're on the show. You're full of that. That's great.
So true.
Angie's here as well. Angie Hickman, how
Angie.
are you, Angie? And where are you in the world, if I may ask? And thank you, Suzanne, for your lovely comments earlier on. That was really cool. I don't think we should open up this seam, should we? Is the American dream over? What happened, says Silver Miner?
Well, it's an interesting one because, like Josh and Kalie were saying, and like you and I have shared, we're greeting loads and loads of Americans at the moment. Every weekend, we're talking to new ones, sometimes in the week as well. And actually, I was saying today that I actually think America's probably going to start attracting people again. There are lots of people who are when I talk to people about why they come over, for a lot of people, they're looking for reduced expenses and to live in a place where they feel free, and to live in a place that's beautiful and in a place where the people are nice and they've got nice morals, or they've got a nice kind of fiber, nice moral fiber. And the Portuguese are really lovely and respectful and kind and generous. I really love them. And so when we've been talking to people, like the biggest motivations, I think, is the feeling of freedom. And recently, with my clients in mainly sort of like Texas, Atlanta and Florida, they are actually experiencing quite a lot of freedom, or the ones that I'm speaking to are. And so, I've been thinking, I'm sure people are going to be emigrating over there as well. I don't think the dream's over. But the news will have you think it is.
It's a really interesting comment, and I think it's
something to watch.
I wasn't going to go there, but having thought about it, I don't think we like to avoid anything here particularly, but I maybe reprioritize things. This is the Feel Good Portugal show, but I would like to address this because dreams change. It's a bit like the comment that's being made here. Adventure filmmaker Josh's incredible answer, I think, really inspiring answer to the question I asked him, saying absolutely agree about keeping the why out front in your business. It's so important, isn't it? And for those, the reason for the question was when people are wondering what business they might get into, that it remains important thereafter, and that is a use. People think, I've got to invent a widget or something like that. I've got to find something I can patent and make loads of money, and keep asking why. Is it just because you want loads of money? Or is it a matter of self-expression? Is it a matter of expressing what you might have come to the planet for?
Yeah.
Those are the really important whys. And they might give you a bit more access on what sort of business to start. which will keep you inspired. Because if it's only about making money, that's nothing wrong with that, but it can be quite a frustrating and superficial mission for your business. Often it's better to have something a little bit deeper or broader that goes with that. And I think the same is true with where we're at in society at the moment. We could succumb quite easily to so much pressure and challenge at the moment. It's a great question to ask about the American dream and the dreams of all of us at the moment, isn't it? When we're maybe not dreaming at the moment, where we're maybe just trying to survive and cope with what's going on in the world. Do we keep asking why in those times? And I think it's a really good thing that Josh touched on then, and thank you, adventure filmmaker, for echoing it as well. American dream, I would say, what next? Not why would anyone be attached to a dream that was maybe like Josh said, didn't he? He reviews it. They keep it out front, and he had a particular term, checking in with it, or adapting it, or evolving it, or whatever. But they re-question what their dream is, and maybe that's what the answer to this question. The American dream may need to adapt and evolve, like everything else in our existence, and that's where it's at, rather than lamenting something that can't work out, is struggling to work out, that may belong in a different time in history. Let's have new dreams, folks, rather than be disappointed by being attached to old ones. Would be my response to that.
I also think one man's what's that phrase? One man's something is another man's poison.
Well, pleasure, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, it's different for all of us in what we're seeking.
Yeah, and it changes according to our needs as well. I mean, in light of the why, if we stopped feeling very free here, our love affair with Portugal might end. Not the people, not the place, but if it didn't feel as free, and if it felt like we weren't receiving the kind of lifestyle that we wanted to, we might
came here
for. Yeah. We might be revisiting our why as well. And and I think it's a really sane thing to do. The insane thing is to carry on doing something if you know it doesn't fit your core.
Yes.
If it because I think if you're not open-hearted and feeling really grounded in who you really are, then at some level you're hurting yourself.
So keep reassessing.
Yeah,
keep
definitely.
reassessing. And at the moment, I mean, it's one thing to reassess, but you need to have something to reassess, don't you? So, and I think that this is one of the challenges of the moment. And sorry if this is a little not quite so feel good, but that's my intention.
But it is about feeling good, though. We want to feel good, so maybe just
bring the feel good back.
What are your thoughts? Let us know.
Make feelings good again. Okay, Robert O. Thank you for this. Love you all. I subscribe to Expats Portugal and Expats Everywhere. Cheers, Robert. Thanking you on behalf of Josh and Kalie as well. My year-end wishes for Josh and Kalie to be able to stay to buy 2 sets of...
But I thought that was really sweet how they were sharing.
Yeah, maybe they were hoping for a super chat because it'd only be about €5 from a Chinese shop here, I think. I am going to meet the man from the north.
I'm sure they've got more.
They just you can never find them when you want them, can you? The earbuds.
We must have about like 10 pairs, and since we've moved, we can't find any of them. I was going to say
down the back of the sofa, but we need one of those as well, don't we? I'm going to meet the man.
Yeah, if you want to do a fundraiser for a sofa, I'm open to that.
Yes, okay, the crowdfunder. Not that we want big enough for a crowd to go on, just maybe 5. I'm going to meet the man from the north. Excellent, Juan. That's Restrepo, Vitor Costa, hopefully the US Embassy label, Portugal level 4, and said not to travel. Is it that bad? Well, it's not that bad. And as we're seeing all over the world, a lot of the measures are preemptive, aren't they, rather than actual. Based on actual number crunching, as far as I can tell. So I can't give you a definitive answer, Juan, on that. So stay tuned to your government's advice on that, because they'll be the final judge on whether you can make the move or not, I think. Carl just sent, yes, we'll play this, Antonio. I really appreciate it. Just sent you a video via WhatsApp about Presepio Nativity scene near Sintra. It's some 10 meters long. That's coming up. I'd love to see those. I really do.
And if anyone's anywhere near Penella, I'd love to see the Penella one, because it's beautiful.
It's huge, isn't it? It's in the castle ground. It's absolutely brilliant. Is this a particular pagan festival, Seinfeld's Festivus?
I don't know that one.
Might have to look into that. And Samhain, of course, is how some people celebrate as well. But what does it mean? Come on, we really...
That's the alternative name for Halloween.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but still...
I mean, and it's a slightly different festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
A lovely show tonight. Really enjoyed it. Oh, thanks, Margarita. Really
Margarita.
Appreciate that. Looking forward, I'm sure, to being reunited with Andy. I'm going to put a picture of his baggage here, his luggage, which he sent me. He's packing for his return. I would say, would you not? There's probably quite a lot of chocolates and gifts in there for you. I've got to say though, Andy, it looks like you're going on a heist. It looks like
well, he's doing a bank robbery.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a bit of a some other mission you might be on there with that particular baggage there. Pedro, we just put up our Christmas tree yesterday. We're proud of it, especially cats are Christmas trees. Desiree, great to have you here as well. I think it's also about safety. So much gun violence going on here in the US. Yeah, because somebody was making the comment to Doug, I think, if you want low taxes, come to the US. But it sounded like you well and truly make up for it in healthcare and other factors. It's all a balancing act, isn't it? The American dream is now to live outside of America. Oh, stop it, Raphael. But for some, it is true. Texas and Florida experience more freedom of movement and choice than many other parts of the US, and crime in many US cities is outrageous now, says Suzanne. And Desiree, from Oregon tonight. Have been listening in, but feeling quiet. No problem at all there. And I just hope you're enjoying being tuned in tonight. And what's this? Is this the financial independence fire level? Oh, yes. True that, Raphael. I just obtained the lean fire level. This is financial independence, retire early. We've spoken about this on the morning show. Really like that ethic or approach. That means expat life is on the table. And the time is now.
Fantastic.
Boulder Geek, you talk a lot of sense. Not too keen about you telling me to give Mrs. Em a foot massage. But apart from that, Diana.
We've got so many comments.
In Hungary, we have St. Nicholas's Day on December the 6th. Certainly we have Christmas too, but it is not about Santa Claus. That was Coca-Cola, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who brought the Santa Claus that we know in now. The four of you embody the Feelgood in Feelgood Portugal. Your energy and enthusiasm is contagious.
Oh, thanks, Jim.
Cheers, Jim.
You need to come back on our show again.
Yeah,
because you've got that feeling as well.
So many people we should invite to the show. Look, Jim, definitely we'll meet up. Jim and Mandy definitely want to see you. I quit corporate life at 51 and became a winemaker. Wow. Now I want to put the Hollywood person in touch with Boulder Geek because I want to see that movie. Don't you? If somebody quit corporate life at 51 and became a winemaker, probably one of Russell Crowe's movies, that isn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's a Russell Crowe movie. But
Boulder Geek, let us know who you want to play you in your movie.
Yeah, we always like asking that question. That is a good one. Yeah, it looks like Andy's got a body in there. I didn't want to say that, Raphael, but that's what everyone was thinking.
Oh, in his travel bag.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at that again. Yeah, Raphael's right, Andy, about that. Prosperity. To me means being able to sump my abundance of stuff. Or is it dump? And being able to be a global citizen in more rewarding physical and political climates.
Yeah,
Expat 2.0.
That is a good why. That's a really good why. It sounds like it's really well considered.
Yeah. The point of Festivus was to be a religious neutral festivity. Oh, okay, that's Festivus there. But come on, can't we let everyone enjoy themselves? Regardless of what, as long as it doesn't affect anybody else, right? Isn't it great to let everyone do what they want to do? Although I do understand why a lot of people hurt by religion do come to that. Like the movie Sexy Beast or Ocean's 11. It does. It looks like a prop, doesn't it, from one of those movies?
I've not seen Sexy Beast, but I do know Ocean's 11. It does look like there's a Chinese acrobat that's going to spring out of that bag.
Indeed. Margarita, one of the best parts of the journey is for you, Sherry.
Yes.
It might not be easy, but surely it will be worth it. Stay safe, guys. Cheers, Margarita, for that. Enjoying the show, says Desiree. It's cheering. Fun to see Josh and Kalie. I like their videos as well. And so do we.
Yeah,
Steve is saying, what a great gift finding you here on Saturday. It was good to see Josh and Kalie as well. Oh, cheers, Steve. Where are you talking to us from? Or did you say before? Forgive me if you did. I also lived in Antarctica, as did my wife.
Wow.
Call my people. This is, the movie. It's developing into some excellent subplots here. And Stan Ho, loving tonight's show. Let's run that Principio video, shall we? And have a look at that in Sintra. Thank you so much to Antonio for sending us this. This is it that's coming. 913-590-303. If you've got anything Crimbo-ish to share with is that quite British? Crimbo,
yeah,
because brolly really seemed to surprise Josh, didn't it, earlier on? I say, pass me my brolly, I'm going out into the elements. Okay, here's the video, the Principio in Sintra. Thanks to Antonio for this. That was great, wasn't it?
That was amazing.
I love Portugal
the
for that
alone.
I mean, it's amazing. And
I love it that they care enough to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a real labor of love, wasn't it?
It clearly was.
Really beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sending that in, Antonio. And yes, some of Sintra's landmarks on there. And I think you said 10 meters long. That's really lovely. Thank you very much. And you've got to see Sexy Beast, says Boulder Geek. Their Spanish villa is my dream. Yes, but the unstable rocks behind the house need sorting out with a big net or something, don't they? Or some shoring up. And this is really great, Suzanne. Thank you for this. The Declaration of Independence stresses the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Not everyone's definition includes getting rich. Liberty is the essential thing, because that's where it all begins, isn't it? And arguably being stressed at the moment around the world, us finding boundaries and limits with that sort of thing there. Tammy and I, Steve, yes, of course. Tammy and I are watching from Chicago. Thank you very much. You got to pop off again, as it were. Festivus celebrations, airing of grievances, feats of strength, the aluminium pole, Festivus dinner, and Festivus miracles. That does sound like a good Christmas, to be fair. My dog smells one. Who? Thank you. It was great to talk to you over on the earlier show as well. That was charming. Thanks for the video, says Suzanne, about Antonio's video sent in there. It shows the Palacio de Villa, Castello dos Muros, Palacio de Pena, and even Cabo de Rocha. Thank you very much, Antonio, for that. And that, yes, that looks beautiful, Antonio. Okay, I think we're going to leave it there tonight. Great to have Josh and Kalie on. Thank you all as well for your wonderful comments. Do subscribe to us on Feelgood Portugal, Expats Portugal, if you haven't done so already. And we will. Thank you for the answer. I think they don't want us to leave. Elbow cough. I think you're right. I think. Can
I just say I'm just going to go off to bed now with.
I'm going to join you. I'm not going to miss an opportunity like that. Everybody. I think everyone will understand.
What? No. I just came in to thank everyone because you're all lovely. I love you all, and I'm going to be cuddling Minnie for a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. Bye. And from Kent, I am American, and the name of my design business is a play on Brolly because it is the umbrella company for my art. Okay, so not necessarily a Brit thing. Thank you so much. Bon night, folks, from Suzanne. And hola, Ray Winston is a great actor in Sexy Beast, says William there. And nice show. I've been spending a lot of time with Josh and Kalie. I'm in Nokokush. Onai on your forum. Thank you, Boulder Geek, for testing me like that. We love you too, says Aviva. To you, Mrs. M. Bye, Louisa, says Antonio F. And thanks for sharing. Have a great rest of weekend. So what I'm going to do, thanks all, bon night from Desiree as well. Thanks for tuning in, Desiree. Thank you all for tuning in. What I'll do is I'm going to play the Principio again as a nice parting gift from Antonio. If you haven't had a Christmas present yet, here's the first one for you this year. This lovely video from Antonio. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody, and we'll see you real soon. Bye for now.